Hey book readers. This is my spoiler-free thoughts and reactions to House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. Alright, so this is book 3 in the Crescent City series. First we had House of Earth and Blood, House of Sky and Breath, and now House of Flame and Shadow. And currently, these are the only 3 contracted Sarah J. Maas Crescent City books. Just the 3 books. But Sarah has hinted that there is more to the story coming, but we might have to wait a bit. She has hinted that there will be a 4th book for the 4th house, House of Many Waters, but it's not yet contracted, and she's writing the next ACOTAR book before that one. So she kind of let us know, like, there is probably going to be more in that world, but it's not set yet, and I can't give you a timeline. So I'm not going to be giving you any spoilers of anything, absolutely nothing from book 3. So if you have not read book 3, you are perfectly fine to watch this, but I will say things about book 1 and 2. So if you haven't read House of Earth and Blood and House of Sky and Breath, maybe pause here and come back till after you've read those. House of Flame and Shadow has gigantic expectations from all of the readers of the world after the ending of House of Sky and Breath. Whenever we get Bryce Quinlan stepping her feet down in Valeris, we all lost our ever-loving minds. Now we're like, what is going to happen to them in this book? When we get those scenes where she meets our favorite people from ACOTAR and sticks his hand out and says, "Hi, Bryce Quinlan, I am Rhysand." I needed CPR. I needed a defibrillator. Like, my heart exploded. All of that to say, the expectations were high. You bring my favorite characters into this, now I want to see them. You know, now my expectations are very high. So, a lot of unanswered questions from book 2 that we are waiting to hear about in book 3. And I will say, we get a lot of the things that we want to see. A lot of conspiracies are busted, a lot of theories are shut down, a lot of theories confirmed, a lot of answers to the background and the history that we were all wondering after we were given the breadcrumbs in book 1 and 2. This is a big boy. All right, this is not your average beach read that you can binge in 2 hours. This is a very large book, 835 pages, okay? As such, you can expect a lot of story, okay? There is a lot going on here. You're going to get multiple POVs. You're going to get multiple storylines, as we always expect from Sarah J. Maas. It is very complicated. It is very complex. A lot of continued world building, not like building from the ground up, but continued additions to what we already know. It definitely takes a lot of brain power to read. This is not something that you listen to while you're doing tasks, and it's okay if you miss a couple things. In fact, I started listening to it on audiobook because I didn't have time to sit and read when it came out, and I did not want to wait. It was fine. I enjoyed the audiobook. I always love the narrator that she has. Elizabeth Evans does an excellent job. Fantastic. And I loved it. But it just does not immerse me in the world as much as reading it myself physically. The audiobook is excellent. I recommend it. But I personally get a much more immersive read when I read it physically. It really has a beautiful arc from beginning to end. Most things are tied up so that you aren't left with cliffhangers. But it does leave some openings in a few of the smaller subplots for more of the story down the line. My no spoilers rating and review is 4.5 stars. Absolutely loved, unequivocally cannot begin to explain my obsession with the characters. Just a couple things that I would have changed, but that is okay. I still loved it and I highly recommend it. I really don't think it's going to let you down. I thought it was a fantastic book. I loved it very much. Lots of people are asking me, what books do I need to read before I read this one of the Sarah J. Maas series is that she's written. You are going to want to have read through House of Sky and Breath before you listen to me say this, so another last ditch warning before I say any spoilers. So we know from the ending of House of Sky and Breath that we get the characters from ACOTAR. Bryce is in Prythian. She is with Azriel, she's with Cassian, Nesta, Feyre, Amren, and Rhysand. In Sarah J. Maas's interview that she completed with Christina Lauren, she said, yes, you need to read ACOTAR before you read this one. I really feel like there really is not much you need from ACOTAR for this book, except for Silver Flames. There are some small details of Silver Flames that show up in this book. I have not read Silver Flames in a long time, and I'm sure there are a few things that I missed that would have held more meaning if I would have reread it first, but nothing big enough to where I was lost. Yes, ACOTAR would be beneficial to read before this one, although really only Silver Flames. But you can't read Silver Flames without reading all of the others. So read ACOTAR before you read this one. It is not necessary to read the Throne of Glass series before you read this book. That's all I'm saying about that. As with every book that you've read by Sarah, You know she's about to take you on a roller coaster. You are going to feel all of the emotions. You are going to love it. And if you're about to jump in and it's been a while since you read the first 2 books, you can always check back on my page where I have comprehensive recaps of book 1 and book 2 so that you're not missing anything. And you're going to want to remember everything from book 1 and 2 because everything comes full circle. So subscribe if you want to talk more books because we all know books make life better.